Listen closely, because I want you to feel these words in your spirit, not just hear them with your ears. I'm talking directly to the part of you that yearns for transformation, the part that's tired of living on autopilot, the part that hungers to become something more. It doesn't matter if you've struggled before, if you've made excuses, or if you've had a hard time staying disciplined. What matters is that you're here, right now, open and willing to hear a challenge that can reshape your entire life. This message is about champion-level commitment, a relentless refusal to settle for mediocrity, and a deep recognition that our mouths have the power to create our future. I want you to begin picturing yourself as a champion, someone who is unstoppable because you've locked onto a vision of the person you know you can be. That vision doesn't bend for adversity or inconvenience. It doesn't waver just because pain shows up. Instead, it thrives on the discomfort, using it as the raw material for greatness. Your words shape your destiny. When you blame your circumstances or spit out excuses, you're giving away your power to create. The first sign of a loser is an excuse, but the first sign of a champion is accountability. Champions don't waste time justifying their shortcomings or shifting fault to other people. They stand up and say, if something in my life is off track, I own it. And because I own it, I can change it. Every day you have a choice between stepping forward into growth or retreating into excuses. That's the fork in the road that you face every morning when you open your eyes. So from this point on, I need you to commit to the champion's path, which means cutting the dead weight of excuses. Not tomorrow, not next week, but now, immediately, without apology. Tell the world once what you're going to do, then show them with your actions. No more broadcasting your plans to anybody who'll listen, hoping to win their validation. Let your consistency do the talking. That's how real winners speak, with their daily discipline, their sweat, and their unwavering focus. Every champion understands that success is an inside job. It's a war against the weaker version of yourself. There's a conflict that goes on in your mind every single day, and you've got to decide which side is going to win. When it comes to chasing down your dream, the difference maker is consistency, not sheer talent, not luck, not even connections. It's doing the work, continually, steadily, purposefully, long after the initial thrill has worn off. Half the people around you might talk big about their ambitions, but you'll recognize the true champions by what they do when nobody's watching. That's the measuring rod. And that's how your future self is going to judge you. Are you putting in the hours? Are you willing to sacrifice your comfort for the results you claim to want? Or are you letting your mouth write checks that your actions can't cash? Saying, I want to succeed is easy. Everyone wants a better life. But how many actually mean it enough to endure the pain? A champion's workout doesn't officially start until pain arrives. Up until the pain hits, it's all just warm-up. The real work begins when your lungs are on fire, your muscles beg you to quit, and your mind starts conjuring up all sorts of reasons you should stop. That's precisely the moment when you need to push forward. Pain isn't an obstacle, it's a checkpoint. When you feel that discomfort, that's the alarm going off to let you know you're nearing the border of your old self, crossing into uncharted territory. Greatness is the territory beyond pain, and most people never venture there because it hurts too much. But champions? Champions recognize that facing pain is non-negotiable if you want to discover your true potential. There's a reason that some individuals seem almost superhuman. We look at them and think they must have been born with something special. But if you peel back the curtain, you'll see it's their tolerance for pain that sets them apart. They've conditioned themselves to keep moving when everyone else is quitting. It's not that they don't feel the soreness, the fatigue, the frustration. It's that they've found a way to interpret that pain differently, less like a red light and more like a green light, telling them they've reached the real starting line. Think about a boxer who's never been hit in the face before. He can have the prettiest technique, but the first time an opponent's glove makes impact, he'll crumble if he's not prepared. Life is going to punch you square in the jaw sooner or later. That's a given. Whether you're ready or not, adversity's going to show up, slip around your guard, and test your chin. The question is, will you crumble when you're caught off guard, or will you stand there, stare it down, and come back swinging? Champions refuse to be broken by unexpected blows. They recognize that success isn't about controlling the environment so everything is perfect. It's about adapting to the chaos. It's about training yourself for the unknown. When you constantly avoid anything that makes you uncomfortable, you lock yourself out of growth. Real growth demands a willingness to be put in situations where you're not sure you can succeed, then learning from the struggle. The greatest breakthroughs come from the greatest challenges. It's in the middle of that crisis, when you've run out of easy solutions, that your mind begins to operate at a new level. You tap into creativity you never knew you had. Your mind starts spinning new strategies because it knows the old routine won't cut it anymore. If you adopt that mindset, consistently seeking scenarios that test you beyond your comfort zone, you'll get to the point where the unpredictable doesn't knock you off your path. You'll become so familiar with adversity that a curveball becomes just another day at the office. Every single morning, ask yourself, how can I train my mind to handle the unknown? Because guess what? The unknown is coming, whether you like it or not. The difference between you and the average person is that you're not waiting passively for the unknown to arrive. You're training for it. You're learning to keep your composure when everything around you is falling apart. That's what it means to develop a champion's mindset. It's the same approach that the greatest athletes, leaders, and innovators use. They don't just practice their craft, they practice dealing with tough conditions, high pressure, and mental stress. They inoculate themselves against quitting so that when the stakes are high and chaos erupts, they tap into a calm confidence that can only come from experience. When you think about what you really want in life, you may see a massive gap between your current situation and that ultimate dream. But that gap doesn't have to intimidate you because it's spanned by consistent daily effort. No shortcuts, no excuses. You fill that gap one deliberate action at a time. The crucial part is that you don't break the chain of consistent work. It might be tempting to coast a little, especially when you feel tired or bored, but champions don't let boredom or fatigue talk them into stagnation. They see those temptations for what they really are, the door to mediocrity. Because there's no such thing as treading water. You're either moving forward or you're drifting backward. A champion keeps pushing, day in and day out, even if it's just an inch of progress. And one day you look back, and those inches have added up to miles. Now maybe you're stuck right now, or you're feeling a sense of discomfort that you can't put into words. That restlessness, that unsettled feeling, is often a signal that you haven't stepped into your full potential yet. Deep down, you know you're capable of more. You can sense that your current habits, environment, or mindset are holding you back. So that discomfort you feel is actually trying to move you from where you are to where you're meant to be. You might hear that inner voice telling you that you can't outrun the person you're supposed to become. It'll keep calling until you finally decide you're done playing small. And the moment you say, all right, I'm tired of this half-hearted commitment, You light a match that starts burning away all the indecision, the fear, and the excuses. If you're listening right now, I want you to make a vow to yourself. I am ready to change my life. I'm willing to dive all in, leaving no wiggle room for half measures. I'm going to embrace the pain, the challenges, and the uncertainty, because that's the price for the greatness I've always known was inside me. Say it out loud if you can, and let it ring in your own ears. If you're in a crowded space, or you can't literally speak these words, at least say them silently in your head with real conviction. You're drawing a line in the sand between your old way of living and the unstoppable champion you are choosing to become. And from this moment on, no more blaming your boss, your parents, your spouse, or the economy. That's done. Blame is easy, but it won't produce results. Taking responsibility isn't always comfortable, but it puts the keys back in your hands. A champion's life is rooted in daily rituals that lead to success. These rituals might be simple, like waking up early, hitting the gym, reading a chapter of an inspirational book, setting clear daily goals, but they're done without fail. Over time, these practices build an unshakable foundation. Pain, fear, and doubt can crash against it, but they won't break it, because it's formed from consistent discipline. That discipline is the real currency you pay for success. It's what draws the line between wanting to succeed and actually succeeding. If you can teach your mind to function under stress without losing your cool, you give yourself a huge advantage in everything you do. Your relationships, your career, your creative pursuits, all of them benefit when you have that champion's composure. You might be thinking success is all about talent or resources, but let me tell you something. Grit trumps talent every day of the week. When you show up consistently and refuse to bow to your doubts, you'll outlast people who are more talented but less determined. Champions see their commitment like a vow that can't be broken. They understand that the real competitor is the weaker version of themselves. They're fighting that version every morning, every workout, every choice of whether to slack off or push harder. Over time, the champion in them takes over and leaves behind any trace of the quitter they used to be. Now, it's important to recognize that this is a lifelong journey, not a short-term sprint. There's no off-season when it comes to building your best self. It's you versus you, day after day. The good news is that once you adopt this champion's mindset, it becomes a part of you wherever you go. It's not something that activates only on game day or only at work. A true champion carries that sense of excellence into every area: family, business, health, spiritual life, because excellence is not compartmentalized. It's a way of being. It's a refusal to accept half-hearted attempts in any area. Sometimes, people around you won't understand the changes you're making. They might say you're obsessed or that you're taking life too seriously. But remember, easy is the breeding ground for complacency, and complacency is the silent killer of dreams. If others want to settle for average, that's their choice. But you're not going to catch a champion turning down the intensity for the sake of fitting in. Champions don't blend in. They stand out by default because their actions, habits, and aura demand it. Being average is unacceptable to someone who's tasted the power of a champion's life. So if you catch yourself being pulled into average conversations, average habits, average mentalities, slam the door on it. Don't let them dilute your focus or your standards. Your vision, multiplied by your hard work, becomes reality. But if you decide halfway that it's too tough and you give up, then you're basically aborting the life you could have had. That's a stark image, but it's true. People give up all the time, one compromise at a time, and then they wonder why their lives are so far from what they once dreamed. Don't walk that path. Stand firm in your conviction. Success has no bias and doesn't care about your background, your past mistakes, or your upbringing. It only answers the hustle, the resilience, the I won't quit spirit that champions carry. When you line up against life, you're going to stare at yourself in the mirror and ask, just how bad do I really want this? Because your competition is your own reflection. It's that part of you that gives in when things get hard. It's that voice in your head that tries to persuade you to stay comfortable. Conquer that, and the external battles become so much easier. If you can beat the internal negativity that says you don't have what it takes, then the external competition won't stand a chance. That's what being unstoppable means. You become a force of nature driven by purpose, not by convenience or shallow inspiration. You do it because you've decided you're worth fighting for, and that fight doesn't end until you've uncovered every ounce of potential hidden inside you. We all have a finite number of days on this planet, and each day wasted with excuses is a day you'll never get back. Don't keep waiting for the perfect moment, because it'll never come. Life is messy. Situations aren't ideal, circumstances shift, the economy goes up and down, people let you down. But a champion's mission isn't contingent on external factors aligning perfectly. It's about carving a path through the chaos, bringing order to your own life through discipline. And ironically, by embracing the uncertainty, you gain a new sense of peace. You realize you're prepared for surprises because you're mentally, physically, and emotionally ready. Yes, there will be days when you feel like life is punching you in the face. You may get laid off from a job, experience heartbreak, or suffer a health scare. None of that is pleasant, and it might even cause you to stagger. But a champion's secret weapon is the refusal to accept permanent defeat. You might kneel, but you don't stay down. You find a reason to rise again. That's not denial of reality. It's the audacity to believe in your own power to transform your circumstances, no matter how brutal they appear. I can promise you that once you experience even a small taste of this unstoppable mindset, you'll never want to let it go. It's addictive because it redefines what you believe is possible for you. The next time you set a goal, you'll aim higher because your reference point is that champion's resilience. The next time you face a giant, you'll see it as a chance to grow, not a reason to retreat. And every time you conquer a new obstacle, your identity shifts a bit more, aligning with the champion you're becoming. You deserve to live at that level, but you have to decide you're done settling for less. You have to decide that mediocrity has no seat at your table. You have to decide that people who belittle your goals or ask you to lower your standards are just static noise in your environment. You show them respect, but you don't let them infiltrate your mindset. Champions surround themselves with those who feed their fire, not those who try to extinguish it. If you can't find a supportive environment, create one. Use every resource at your disposal to remind yourself of the bigger vision. Make your phone background a motivational quote. Set daily reminders to yourself. Put your workout gear where you'll see it first thing in the morning. Whatever it takes to keep your mind locked onto the big picture. There's no magical finish line where you say, okay, I've done enough, I can coast now. That is an illusion. You're either growing or dying. The moment you decide to take it easy is the moment you start slipping back. But this knowledge shouldn't scare you. It should liberate you. Life is going to keep moving either way. So you might as well move in the direction you truly desire. Challenges give you the chance to show yourself what you're made of. Each day is an opportunity to outdo the person you were yesterday. A champion sees adversity as a stepping stone, not a stumbling block. Keep your thoughts, words, and actions in alignment. If you say you want something, make sure your actions back that up. If you claim a champion's mindset, prove it in the gym, in your workplace, in your relationships, and especially when pain arrives. That's how you build that unstoppable momentum. People might say you're over the top, but that's only because they've never tasted the level of fulfillment that comes from living in full pursuit of your potential. They might whisper that you're obsessed, and you know what? They're right. Champions are obsessed with growth, with excellence, with doing what others won't, so they can have what others can't. And that's how it should be. You didn't come this far just to coast for the rest of your life. Something inside you is calling you to take control of your destiny. No more standing on the sidelines, watching other people chase their dreams. It's time to put your jersey on, get in the game, and fight like your life depends on it, because it does. This isn't some dress rehearsal. This is your one shot at life. You've got to milk it for everything it's worth. If you're out there feeling stuck, let this message spark a fire in you. If you're already fired up, let it fuel you to stay on track. The only one who can stand in your way at this point is you. That's not a burden. That's the greatest gift you could have, because it means you have all the power to push yourself forward. Now is the time to show the world and yourself what you're truly made of. You might stumble, you might fall, but you will rise with the same passion that got you started in the first place. You'll keep grinding when others quit, keep smiling in the face of adversity, and keep learning new skills when everyone else thinks they know it all. That's the essence of a champion: relentless forward motion, fueled by an unbreakable spirit. Let the words, blessed and unstoppable, ring in your mind every single day. Blessed because you have the opportunity to step into your purpose. Unstoppable because nothing is strong enough to keep you from it unless you allow it to. No more drifting aimlessly. No more nights wondering what could have been. Today, you make the choice to rise. Today, you seize the champion within and declare that failure is not your final station, but a brief detour on the way to your destiny. From now on, you shape your life with intention, forging yourself in the heat of adversity, until you emerge sharper, stronger, and better than ever before. That's how you change your life. That's how you go from a dreamer to a doer, from an excuse maker to a record breaker. This is your moment. Take it. Embrace the pain, love the challenge, and wake up every day craving that forward progress. Because greatness, true, unshakable greatness, lives on the other side of pain. Embrace it, harness it, and let it carry you to heights you never thought you'd reach. Now go out there and prove to yourself that you are exactly who you've always known you could be. Go be unstoppable.